CD Projekt Red made two of the greatest DLCs ever released, but they don't feel the same at all. One gives you something most games never do: a real ending, sailing off into the sunset. And the other makes you live with what you've done in a dark, dystopian world that won't let go of you. Blood and Wine or Phantom Liberty, which is the perfect DLC? When people talk about the best DLCs ever made, these two always come up: Witcher 3 Blood and Wine and Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty. These are two of my favorite games of all time. I first fell in love with Witcher 3 and got absolutely hooked pretty much instantaneously. Then I played Cyberpunk 2077 and I was not initially hooked. And it took me about 20 hours to really get lost in the cyberpunk world. But once that started, I couldn't stop. Both Blood and Wine and Phantom Liberty leave you with a completely different feeling when they're finally over. Blood and Wine feels like the end of something, like a story finally closing, while Phantom Liberty doesn't. It feels like you just stepped out of something much bigger, something you maybe never fully understood, and you weren't meant to.
Toussaint, the land of love and wine.
Exactly how I remembered it.
Trotting on your horse with an armed escort, the lighting changes, the music begins, and you see what can only be described as a living wallpaper. As you trot towards the city, peasants work the fields around you, wooden windmills are spinning, vineyards surrounding the area. We've never seen Witcher 3 like this. It's not just the visuals, but how this new world is presented. The lighting is warm, the colors are vibrant, and it feels like you're now in a fairy tale land. It's a world that wants to be looked at. You want to travel by horse instead of fast traveling. Skipping time or fast traveling feels like a missed opportunity to see more of this mysterious fairy tale world. Castles, fields, open spaces. This is a place you couldn't believe existed when you were going through the burned down villages of White Orchard or the dirty streets of Novigrad. But now you're in a spotless palace city of Toussaint, surrounded by vineyards as far as you can see. It's almost as if the game is rewarding you with Toussaint for making it this far with Geralt. But then, in a different universe, in a different time, there's Dogtown. Lights stack up on top of each other, cracked pavement, shipping containers being used as homes. This isn't the paradise that we're rewarded with. Construction sites, fog, smoke, pollution. You can't tell if the place is being demolished or slowly rebuilt. But you don't see all of Dogtown when you drive into the new area. You only see the surface. But if you look closer, you see bodies hanging from buildings, militia bosses hiding underground, and you don't know whether the entrance to Dogtown is trying to keep people out or trap them in. In Toussaint, you can see the wide open fields and landscapes, but in Dogtown, everything is hidden, figuratively and literally. It's hard to slow down in Dogtown. You want to stop and look around, but at any moment you could be ambushed by the Voodoo Boys, the Scabs, or the Bargus militia group. Or see an airdrop falling from the sky and you feel the need to rush as soon as possible to get it. There's no time to look at the sunsets. We thought Night City was dark, but Dogtown takes it to another level of mystery and, frankly, depression. Even the beauty works differently than Blood and Wine. It's not calm or inviting, it's intense, distracting, sometimes even overwhelming. It looks incredible, but it doesn't feel safe. And that's the point. Because where Toussaint feels crafted, Dogtown feels like it already happened. One world is beautiful because it was designed to be, and the other is beautiful despite everything that's wrong with it. One lets you exist in it, and the other keeps you on edge the entire time.
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Who is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of introducing themselves.
Blood and Wine is about ending a journey. Not just continuing it, but ending it properly. Entering this mystery land, you don't know the area, the characters, or what mysteries lie ahead. The story feels contained in a way that's rare for an expansion, separated from the rest of Witcher 3's journey. It introduces its own conflict, builds it up, and resolves it without leaning on anything outside of itself. You're not chasing threads from Hearts of Stone or the main game. You're not being pulled back into something bigger. Everything you need is right here. Because of that, the choices you make feel like they actually land. They don't spiral outward and onward into something unknown. The decisions you make can settle. You can understand everything. Even in the end, Corvo Bianco isn't just a reward for Geralt. It's a statement about the end of a journey. And for the first time, nothing is pulling you forward anymore. Phantom Liberty doesn't give you that, but it's not trying to. In Dogtown, it isn't about endings and rewards, it's about the consequences. The world is pavement, dirty, and beaten down. Despite that, it feels more fragile than Toussaint. The story feels like a fragment of something much larger. Something operating beyond what you can see. You're constantly reacting to events, making decisions without full context, and trying to piece together what's actually happening in real time. But it feels like you never get there. In this world, decisions don't resolve things, they just redirect them. Every choice leads somewhere, but it feels like never to something final. The pacing reflects that. It's tighter, faster, and more urgent. There's always another development, twist, another piece of information that changes how you see everything in Dogtown. You're never allowed to settle in to a moment because the situation never settles. And even when it ends, it doesn't really feel finished. It feels like you've stepped out of something that's still moving without you. There's no Corvo Bianco waiting at the end. No place to return to, no sense of this is where things land. Just the feeling that whatever you did, you're going to have to live with it until the next playthrough. One DLC gives you closure, the other makes you feel the consequences.
Before we go, apologies for the precautions. I only ever risk so much. Sometimes it's just safer to shove the barrel of a Malorian between a Troon's ribs, even if he is on your side.
The characters in Blood and Wine feel grounded in emotion. Not just in what they say, but in what they do. Decisions come from jealousy, love, hatred, and resentment. When conflicts happen, they don't feel like a part of a larger system. They feel personal. This story gives the personal moments space. Conversations aren't rushed. Reactions are direct. When something happens, you see how it affects people almost immediately. The drama comes from emotion, not strategy. And that makes the characters feel complete, like they exist outside of the role they play in the story. Detloff, Regis, Anna, Henrietta. These people feel like they existed long before we started Blood and Wine. Experiencing the Blood and Wine story and writing genuinely feels like you're living in a fairy tale novel. Phantom Liberty completely shifts that. Here, characters don't act on emotion first. They act on objectives. Every interaction feels tied to something. A mission, a deal, leverage, or survival. Even when someone seems honest, there's always that sense that there's something underneath it, something they're not saying. Conversations feel different because of that. They're not just exchanges, they're controlled, measured, sometimes even calculated. People don't react openly, they're closed off. They manage what they show. And that creates a kind of distance. Reed, Songbird, Alex. Sometimes it feels like you're building relationships with these characters, but they're always just navigating through them. You're trying to figure out what's real and what isn't, and what someone actually wants from you. In Blood and Wine, people feel like individuals, like humans. In Phantom Liberty, they feel like roles, different agents, assets, and handlers. Defined less by who they are and more by what they do. And that changes how the stories feel. One is driven by people, the other is driven by agendas. In one DLC, people show you who they are, and in the other, they make sure you never see it. So, which one is the perfect DLC? The one that gives you closure, or the one that stays with you long after it's over? Because Blood and Wine feels like the end of a journey. Something complete, something you can finally walk away from, if you're strong enough. And Phantom Liberty doesn't give you that. It just leaves you with what happened and expects you to live with the consequences. And honestly, that might be the difference that matters most. For me, I'm biased. I would choose Blood and Wine. There is about 7 years between the development of these two games, and Witcher 3 is my favorite game of all time. Blood and Wine feels like the perfect ending to all of it. The world, the dark twists, the characters, everything comes together in a way that just feels complete. Phantom Liberty is amazing in its own right, and somehow Cyberpunk managed to pull me into a genre and world that I had no interest in before. If Blood and Wine is my 10 out of 10 rating, then Phantom Liberty would be a 9.9 out of 10. And it might even have better replayability. So, yeah. I'll probably have to replay both of them again, just to be sure.